Okay, so going back to chapter 1, section 7, we talked about domain and range. Now remember, domain and range were basically going to come off of a relationship. And the relationship was going to be when you had some x's and y's, or you had a graph, when you had mapping, when you have some coordinates, you had an input and an output basically. Don't forget that your x is your domain and your y's are your ranges. So make sure you get ready to take some notes, okay? You should have all this in your file. You should have this in your notebook that you're having for my class. But now we're going to come out here. Don't forget domain, range. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about now is going to be what's required / what they're expected you to go ahead and give you, a graph, tables, give you anything, and you'll be able to identify the domain and range. Now, domain, range, don't forget that. Domain, x values, range, y values. See how in a nutshell, it's really the first thing, the input and the output. Now, I'm giving you some inputs and outputs. This is some piece you need to know. Included, that goes for both x and y's. If it's included, we're going to go ahead and use these things. Okay, copy this down. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. You got that? We're also going to go ahead and use brackets. If it's included, that's what I'm saying here. If it's included, you use this stuff. Well, what do you mean if it's included? This is included. So there's several things you can look at for stuff to be included. They can give you a graph. Okay? So if I give you a graph of a line going like this, and you see how this is right here? The endpoints? That's included. That means it's part of it. The boundary is at the end, and it's included. So when I answer a question for domain and range, I want to use these symbols. All of these, or whichever one the answer choice is giving me, I need to go ahead and do the right, right notation. Now, if it's not included, pay attention to this one. If it's not included, we're going to go ahead and use this or this. No equal sign. You see the difference? And instead of using brackets or braces, they call them brackets over here, we're going to go ahead and use, ready? Parentheses. What do you mean? Okay, so I'm going to give you an example where a graph is not included. I'm sorry, not included. The graph is included, but the endpoints in this situation are not included. Now you got to understand this is going to be asking for a domain or range. Now we're going to go ahead and apply the stuff here, guys, and we're going to come out here and say, the domain and range. Well, we talked about the domain, x values. We look at the x values. We talked about your range. We look at the y values and compare the graphs only off of the y-axis if it's range, only off of the x-axis if it's domain. Okay. I do want to include something. Please make sure these are valid answers now. This right here. Do you know what that is? Does anybody know what that is right there? What that symbol is? Anybody know what that symbol there? If I could line down 8. Infinite, okay? We're going to go with infinity. Infinite's cool. So that's going to be infinite, and then this one will be negative infinity. What? Well, what do you mean infinite and negative infinite? Or what? I'm lost, sir. Okay. So if you have a graph, pay attention to this one, and the x values, I don't know, whatever, and the graph goes like this, right? I'm just drawing whatever, but now I know that it has an arrow here. That means it goes forever in this direction. I cannot stop going because that arrow means it goes on for what? For infinity. The line goes on for infinity, forever and ever. And say this one has an arrow going this direction, this way. Well, in what direction does it go? You can't say it goes in an infinite direction, right? Like an infinity direction? No. I can say it goes in the negative infinity direction. You see that? So same thing with the x's and the y values. I can have positive infinity here, and I can have negative infinity down here. Well, you'll see what I'm saying right now. Just in case we go out here and need to say, well, the domain goes on forever in that direction, we're going to say infinite. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. You cannot contain infinite. Well, what do you mean, sir? So I can't say I went to the furthest number, to the infinite number, because you can always add one, or add two, or double it, and you're still twice infinity or one more infinity that way. So you could never use this notation, if that makes sense. You could never use brackets, because the brackets are included. say that you got to the end of infinity. So we wouldn't write an answer with infinity. We would come out here and use that little parenthesis saying it's in the infinite bracket, but we don't know how far it is. It's over there. Just keep on going that way. You'll get to it. Okay? So let's come out here. Now, I'm going to do this one. To answer these questions. It's very easy. Just chill out, relax, take your time, and understand what I'm going to say next. You're basically going to always, if it's domain, if it's asking about your domain, guess what you always do? You always go your least number. You always put the biggest number. I guess I put least. And the biggest number. You got that? Wherever they are. Now, do me a big favor now. You have to put X here in the middle. Don't worry about it, Zach. Thank you for showing up, brother. Now, when it comes to this one, don't ask questions. Just put this arrow like this, or that sign, and that sign. And what this is saying, if you think about what this is saying right here, it's saying, pay attention to this right here. X is, you see this, greater than that number. So because it's the lowest number, then all the X values are going to be greater than that. At the same time, it's saying, biggest number. Look at this big number right here. That X is smaller than the biggest number. It's saying those two things at the same time, which is freaking awesome. And if you kind of think about it, it's saying X is between the smallest number and the biggest number. I'm going to give you an example real quick. I'm going to give you a little cheapy graph on a number line. If you don't mind, I'll go with a simple number line. Say I had a graph, right? And I'm going to go ahead and just put numbers. I'm going to put lines. I don't really care, ready? And I'll say from here all the way to here. And my line is this right here. Say this is my graph from here to here. I'm just going to pick up numbers. If you don't mind, I'll just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember the rule is always go from the biggest to smallest. Separate them like this. Okay, I'm sorry. Least to greatest. What's my smallest number? 2. So for the domain, if on this one right here, I would go domain. Ready? It would be the smallest number, 2. The biggest number would be 6. I'm trying to draw this one with an open circle, okay? Look at the difference. That's an open circle. That's a closed circle. My smallest number would be a 2. My biggest number would be a 6. You see how it's a solid line connecting both? Okay, this one means it's not included. So not included, I'd use one of these. Included, I would use one of these. Now, I'm telling you from the very beginning, always go to the least number, put X here, this symbol, this symbol. Never this one. Never these, okay? Never this one. Always that one. Now, look at this real quick. This one now, is it included? No, it's not, so it stays like that. Is this side included? So we put an equal sign. And there's your domain, and there's your range. Sorry, there's your domain. I haven't asked about range yet. Okay, what do y'all think about that one? Is it too hard, too easy, más o menos? Okay, so let me just scoot up and give you another one. I'm going to go with, I'll do another domain and range. Let's just do domain. So I'm going to come out here. Can somebody give me a number? Anybody give me a number? We'll go with, no, let's do another one, Christopher. 2. 7. Let's go with a negative 7. Are we right with that one? And then somebody give me a number bigger than it. You don't mind? Negative 7 and a number bigger than 12. Okay, let's go ahead and find the domain. Imagine this is the x-axis, okay? The domain. I'm asking about the domain. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. This, I'll put my graph as shaded in here, which means it's included. I think not, right? Not the not included, but the included. And I'll say it goes all the way to here. Okay? Now, looking at this real quick, I'm asking you to put the domain. Now, the rule is, in my opinion, it's just always the least number to the biggest number. What's my least number here? Negative 7. So I would go negative 7. Don't think about it. Since it's asking about x, put your x here. The biggest number would be 12. Don't think. Put this one and this one, and you're almost done. Just double check the endpoints now. Double check the endpoints. Think about this one. Is this one included? Then I'll put equal. Because look what it says here. -7 is less than or equal to x. And x is all the points that make up this line here. Okay? This endpoint here is included. That's why there's an equal sign. This endpoint here is not included. That's why it's open over here. So it says right here, x is every number up to 12, but not included. It's not equal. It's every number that is just what? Less than 12. Pretty cool? Now I'm going to show you. I skipped this section. But tell you that I still include it because when I was giving you graphs, I gave you a bunch of points here, and you all couldn't miss the domain and range off of points. And I was like, oh, great, I'm just going to really kill some people. That's the kind of thing. But I looked at our results, guys, from the benchmarks, and we didn't do bad. We did pretty good, considering I didn't teach you all this, there were 7 questions on this. And I know, forgive me, it kind of bugs you all when you do something and I didn't show it to you. It kind of messes your brain up. I know. Forgive me, no. I promise you I'll take care of you. So looking at all this madness, ready? Let's try this. What in the world is this, sir? Okay. Just stand back, and I'm going to go ahead and explain this one for you. Let's talk about the domain, and let's talk about the range. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. Domain is my x values. So automatically, I'm doing this in my head. Pay attention. See that? My x is between 2 numbers, the smallest number, the least number, and the greatest number, or the biggest number. So I'm strictly looking at the x-axis right here, guys. That's all I'm looking at. I don't care how high or how low it goes. I only care how far right and how far left it goes. How far left does it go? Let me see, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -6. How far to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. +6. Now looking at this part real quick. I'm almost done, guys. I just gotta double check. Do I put these lines down here? Yes or no? Is it included? Check. Is this one included? Check. Now, let's stand back and look what this says here. Your x values are between a -6 and a +6. What does that mean, your x values? Okay, so remember this is a line, a function, a relationship. I don't care what you want to call it, a relationship, right? X input, X and Y output. If I get any of these coordinates, my x values will always be between a -6 and a 6. That's what it's saying. Pretty easy, pretty cheesy. Okay? Now let's come back here and look at your range. Your range. Look at your range. Now when it comes to range, I'm going to talk about my y's. I'll change color. I'm talking about my y's. I don't think, guys. I just do this each time. All I got to do is find my lowest y value. So I'm going to go now looking at it up and down. What's my lowest? The graph goes. How low does it go to 0? What's the highest it goes up to? The highest it goes up to is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Again, pay attention to what I'm saying here. This is the lowest the graph goes. How low does it go? What's the lowest? What do you mean graph, sir? Well, I have all of these this graph all here. My y values would be above. Way up here, high, 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 high. The lowest my graph goes would be down here. Slash, that's my lowest. My y value would be. Now, at this point right here, is it shaded in? The lowest point, is it included? Yes. What's my highest graph? What's the highest part of my graph? All the way up to here. Well, what number is that? 6. Now, is that included? Yes. There's my domain. There's my range. What do y'all think about that? Not so much? Kinda, yes, no, I don't get it. Yes, maybe. Okay, copy that one down real quickish. Do y'all have like an iPad you can just store pictures or no? I'm sorry. Okay, I gave you about 30 seconds to copy that one down. Make sure your graph is kind of labeled pretty good. Make sure you do know when I'm talking about my x's, my domain, I'm talking about this x-axis, these coordinates. When I'm talking about my range, I'm talking about my y values, and that's from a 0 all the way to a 6. Okay? Give about 3 more seconds, and then we're going to try number or letter B together. We're going to try letter B together. Okay, I'm going to zoom in now. Let's look at letter B. Zoomed in pretty darn good. I think all of y'all can see it. Back. Good job, Christopher. We're here for the second question. Let's look at the second question. Let's go fast. Draw it out real quick. Guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do a little like a little keep the coordinate grid like that. And go like maybe from here to here. Go like that. Included, not included. So over here. And then put these numbers here. That's all you need to know about right here, these numbers. This number would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be a -7 here. How far down? 1, 2, 3. It'd be a down -3. Okay, I'm looking at this right here, right? This one here is 1 up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. Okay, just do something like that. Really easy, really simple, really cheesy. Okay, now let's do this real quick. Let's go with the domain. What do I know automatically? Anybody know what to put automatically for the domain? I want to tell you, since y'all can't talk to me real quick, I'm going to go put the X in the middle, and I'm looking for this. I'm already, you should have this already. Next thing you should have, you should go ahead and know this is going to be your lowest number. This is going to be your greatest number. All right? Now, my lowest number. Where is my x-axis? That's this part right here. How far? What's my lowest x value? -7. What's the furthest right? -7 here. What's the furthest right? The biggest it has. +5. Now, let's look at this part real quick. I'm going to come back here. I think that what's going on? Is time over or what? People are leaving or are you having Wi-Fi problems? Oh, we got like 5 minutes. Okay, so looking at this one real quick. This side is included. Boom. This side is not included. Leave it like that. And there's your answer. Going once, going twice. What do y'all think about that one? Okay, do me a favor. Try. Let's go to Zachary. Zachary, I was looking at your grade, bro. You got to do a lot better. Looking at the STAR test you took in 5th grade, you kicked butt, bro. Don't be lazy this year. Come on. Do your range now. Do your range. Hurry up, Dominic, because the class is going to run out already. So range. Let me look at the range. Range. Okay, I'm going to go again. The Y is in the middle, and I'm going to go like this, boom, and boom. Now, when it comes to this part, you want to come out here and go, this is my Y value. It's going up and down. What's my lowest? How low does it go? -3. How high does it go? On this side over here, when it comes down, is it included? Yes, it is. When it goes up, is this endpoint included? No, it's not. So there's my answer. Okay, ready, Tristan? All of you guys. Remember a while ago, I told you that there was going to be, included and not included. What do you mean? Well, when I told you included and not included, I also told you could use these, right? These notations. So there's going to be several different ways that they can ask you these questions, or give you, like, how do you answer this one? Well, you can say this is, I'm not going to say it's like the best answer, definite answer. It just could be thrown in there. Or you can go like this. See how that one's included? Included. to 5, not included. You see that? And what do I know about those two things? Well, those are your x values. So that's my domain. So you can go ahead and say something to that effect. Looking for it like this, where you have the x in the middle, or you can say, you know, there's going to be several ways that they can give you these questions or these answers. And you have to go find out. And if they have it with this part here, it means included. On this side right here, how would you write this one? Well, you see how this was included? And then this one, what is that? Not included. Again, we're talking about my y's. You've got to be able to find the y there. You got to find the notation. Going once, going twice. Try this one on you, guys. Please don't cry. Please do not cry. Listen. It's just a bad joke. I'm sorry. Okay. How did that graph down? It's pretty darn easy, that one. Okay. Let's look at your domain. Ready? Can anybody tell me how to do this domain? Oh, shoot. This one's hard. Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I remember, the first thing I told you would go be like putting this setup right here, go and put this setup right here. And I would have my lowest number to my greatest number. Well, how far left does it go? Wait, the lowest it goes is all the way to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it doesn't go from 5 anywhere, right? More right, more left. It stays on 5. So this kind of stuff doesn't work for me. So I'm going to say, well, it's 5. Now, a huge thing is included or not included. Okay. You can just say your domain is 5. Okay? You can just go like that. Now, let's come back to your range now. Range is a little different. What's your range on this one? Come on, somebody in the chat, miss. Let's go. -2. Okay, I'm going to tell you this much. First thing I need to set up is y. And then do this thing and this thing. Always the same, you know, inequality signs. My lowest number, like Tristan said, is a -2. The highest is a 6. Let me double check on this one. -2, -1, -2. Check. Highest it goes up is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it included? Are these endpoints included? And no lines under? There's your range. Perfect. Okay, awesome, guys. I think y'all are getting it. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, guys, a huge favor. I'm going to let you go for lunch already. But please, I'm going to post this video on YouTube. And guess what I'm also going to do? Okay, I'm also going to work these next 3. You got it? These next 3. You need to go and practice these. You know what? I'll set. I'll do the next 6. I'll do the next 6 online on my YouTube channel. You'll need to go back and check it out. All right, and then we'll review it tomorrow. Be safe, guys. Have a good lunch. So let's look at this one real quick. Domain and range for this one. What's up, brother? No, not today. We'll do it tomorrow, okay? Be safe, brother. Okay, so we're going to come out here and do domain and range for these 6 domain. I'm going to tell you this much. Always come out here and range. Don't think about domain, X, and then do this part, this part. Now, my lowest X value, see the graph goes all the way here to -4? The furthest it goes up is 4. Now, since that line goes through it, it's not like a line that has circles on the end like this. That means it's included. So, equal, equal. Now, in this situation, I'm going to go with range. Range now, what's the lowest it goes to? Lowest is A. Domain and range means referring to the x and y as far as the least to greatest. The lowest is 4, negative 4, and the highest it goes is 4. Please make sure you put the y here, equal sign, because it includes. Okay, same thing here, domain, and it's combined here with range. Remember, domain, I want to go with x here, and then here. The lowest my graph goes is to a 0. It's shaded in because it goes like that. Included, what's the furthest right it goes? So greatest, you know what? This is going to be infinity. I cannot tell you guys equal sign. I can't take out the infinity. So if you think about this real quick, think about this. Another way of writing this one here is x's are going to be greater than, or just this part here, or equal to 0. This is a valid answer. This is a valid answer. Think about this. All my x values for this graph are going to go be what? Greater than 0. Since it goes down and touches the x or the right here, it's included. You got that? And that's about it. Let's see this one for range. Range, same thing. Put the y, same idea. Y, this. What's the high or lowest? Least to greatest. What's the lowest? Well, just saying, since there's an arrow here, this arrow means it goes forever down. So I'm going to go with negative infinity. Why negative infinity? Because it goes down to negative as far as y values. This one goes up forever in the positive, so I'm going to go with positive infinity. So that's a valid answer. Not just FYI. Just going to give you the heads up on this one. Doesn't that mean it includes every number in the whole wide world? So that you can say, like an R, right? But with 2 things back here. Like I always go like parallel lines, and then connect this one. That means all real numbers. All real numbers. You can even put all real numbers. That's a pretty good one right there. I like that one. So, different. Let's look at this real quick. Domain and range. Domain. Remember, always go from the x values least to greatest. Least, the lowest would be a 0. The furthest left it goes. What's most right it goes? Oh, you know what? Infinity. It goes forever in the positive direction here. So if you look at this real quick, let's just put this. X's are greater than 0. Any x value greater than 0. Right? All these values of x's are greater than 0. No equal sign, it's not included. Range. They're going to be your y values. And go like this again. But in this situation, my highest and my lowest happen to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can say y is between 4 and 4. So you can just say what? 4. And it's included. Sir, but right here it's not included. Yeah, it's not included there, but everywhere else it's included. Okay. Next over here. Domain. Range. So domain is like a domain. We're going to have domain as far as this will be referring to your x values. So I'm going to go here. So you think just put that. Lowest number would be 1, 2, 3. Highest number would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Included, not included, so it's like that. Included, so right here. Range, again, I would do the range y, and I would do this right here. It happens to be my lowest is a -1, my highest is a -1. So regarding this one, I can just say what? You can say y is equal to a -1. You can say -1, the set of -1, whatever you want, just as long as you include that -1, and that's it. No higher, no lower. Looking at this part here, domain. Okay, your domain is going to be, again, my x value, so I'll go x here, here, here. Far left, lowest. Lowest is 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. Highest would be 1, 2. Both included. How do I know both included? Shaded in, shaded in. Range, y value here, same setup. The lowest, least to greatest, least would be -2. highest would be 4. Okay. Last but not least, this is kind of tricky, but not. It's pretty darn easy, actually. The domain is going to be x, and then put these symbols there. The lowest it goes to is a -1, -2, and -3. Not included. Open-ended. That means no equals n. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. That one is not okay. It's not included, so we're going to leave it like that. Range now. Y here, we're going to go like this, and here we're not going to go ahead and freak out. Same setup. The lowest it goes to is a 0. It's included. You see how it's shaded in. Not included. The highest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not included. Not included. If by some weird chance it was shaded here, then we'd put the equals. Even though that was not included here, but it's included here. But since it's not included on either, then it stays like that. If you have any questions, guys, let me know. See what's going on. We'll talk about this in class tomorrow. Be safe.